Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode series right here on MLB The Show 18. And today we are back in the playoffs. We have made the playoffs every single year, regardless of the direction in which we have been taking this team. But in this episode, it's our wild card matchup against the New York Yankees. It was a slugfest down to the wire between ourselves, New York, and Boston. Boston ended up winning that division title. They get to avoid this mess as we have to square off with the Yankees. The winner moves on to play Boston, of course. What I want to do before we set up our lineup is take a look at what we could potentially be dealing with. I imagine they'll be moving forward with Michael Fulmer. It could very well be Luis Severino as well. Regardless, we are in for a rough time. That bullpen is also still in quite good shape. Let's go with quite good rather than calling it significantly better than ours, which it is, especially with Jonathan Holder, Aroldis Chapman, and Chasen Shreve at the back end. That is going to be tough to beat. And lineup-wise, it doesn't get that much easier. As we mentioned when we initially voted to take the step back, the hope is that in 2 to 3 years, when guys like Judge and Stanton, Sanchez are on the decline, we'll be able to take over. But for now, it's still a very strong lineup with Tyler Wade, Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge, 108 RBIs, Stanton there, still 38 home runs, 40 for Gary Sanchez. This is going to be extremely tough. A C potential guy at an 83. That is unreal. This is going to be an extremely tough matchup for us. The one benefit, we might have the advantage on the bench if it is required to go that way. They are going with Fulmer in this game, which I'm not sure if that gives us an advantage or not, as opposed to them going with Severino. We do have the advantage of home field, which is pretty nice. Now, the decision was as to whether or not we should go with Soroka or Eflin. We went with Eflin last year in the wild card. It didn't quite work out. This year, we are going with the Canadian-born Mike Soroka. He's been our ace all season long, and we're going to give him an opportunity. As far as the lineup is concerned, this is what we are rolling with. It's going to be Cassidy and Arias on the bench. Cassidy was the main one that we ended up sitting. I'm going to give the chance to Mickey Moniak, who ended the season on a very strong note. We're going to give him a chance in the outfield. As far as how we're setting up this lineup, though, obviously I haven't yet. I just wanted to get this set. So we do have a couple of guys here. 79 speed for Robles, but he might be too good, to be honest. Listed as an everyday player. We need to see if anyone's listed as a star player. So that way they'd absolutely have to be in the top 4. Surprisingly, Arena is not. Matheny's not. Probably just Junior. Even, yeah, okay, Junior expects to be a star, I was going to say. As does Miea. Let me just double check this because I was actually looking at the wrong side. I think we're good. So, I think what we're going to do here, have Junior at 3, have Miea at 4. It's a little bit of a risk, but I like him to have that overall bump by being in one of those primetime spots. He actually gets it regardless. That's an interesting one. 73 speed, 76 stealing. For that reason, I feel like Matheny has to lead off. 29 steal rating for Urena. I think maybe having Robles bat second might be the way to go. Santana does have that high steal rating as well. 74, 36. You know what? Maybe we go Matheny and Santana. Have Matheny go first, Santana second, Junior third, obviously. From there, though, 21 home runs on the season for Bichette, 20 for Robles, 23 for Taveras. So we are going to have to set it up in a certain way here. Maybe have Bichette 4th, Robles 5th, Taveras 6th, and from there, I mean, really, any way kind of works here. Arena with a 2.77. I think we'll go with this setup here. You know, let's have Miea back end this. Let's have Miea back end this lineup. I think that's what we're going to go with. And that way, too, if he connects with the ball, he at least if Mickey Moniak's on base and Miea connects, we at least have someone with a little bit of speed. We actually have a really good amount of speed in this lineup, which is something, of course, that we had struggled with balancing out over the first few seasons. But I think this is how I'm going to go. So it's Matheny, Santana, Jr., Bichette, Robles, Taveras, Urena, Moniak, and Miea with Soroka on the mound. Playoff baseball here in Toronto. The streak continues, but will it last? Can we win this game? Can we battle our way to the ALDS to take on Boston? That is the question. Mike Soroka gets the call. I'm really happy with that addition. The Calgary native, of course, and we will see if he can rise to the occasion and somehow shut down this Yankees lineup. It's going to be interesting to find out. Let's see what happens. Tyler Wade leads off with a double. Awful start. We have a chance to get out of it. Torres with the 2-run shot. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2-0 New York in the top of the first. Ouch. Aaron Judge strikes out. First out of the top of the first half of the inning. Stanton strikes out. Sanchez with the solo shot. It's 3-0. Cornell, with the single, 2-out single. Drury walks. J.D. Davis strikes out. 3 runs in the top of the first for New York. A devastating start to this game. A disastrous start to this game. Art Matheny leads off. He strikes out. Martin Santana pops out. Junior grounds out. A 1-2-3 inning. It's not what we were looking for. Let's hope for a better start to this inning for Soroka, and he strikes out. Frazier. Wade strikes out. Torres singles. Aaron Judge strikes out, and that ends it. So 5 hits so far through 2 innings for the Yankees. 3 runs, of course. Let's see if we can get anything going offensively. Bichette leads off. He flies out. Robles strikes out. Taveras grounds out. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Fulmer to start things off. Soroka walks Stanton to begin the top of the third. Sanchez singles. Cornell singles. And Stanton scores. This is worst case scenario now, isn't it? Drury, no outs, 2 on, runners at the corners. He walks, bases loaded for J.D. Davis. He strikes out. That's only our first out. Frazier walks, 5-0. Wade into a double play. We're out of it. 6-0 though. As we head to the bottom of the third. Urena strikes out. Moniak walks. We're going for the steal. And he gets it. Miea, swing away, buddy. He grounds out. And this really can't hurt. Matheny pops out. Damn it. I mean, as far as the pitching goes, I don't even know at this point. Didn't want to go to quick manage. Let's go to fast forward. As Torres pops up to begin the inning, Judge with a 1-out single. Stanton flies out. Sanchez flies out. To the bottom of the fourth we go. Still 6-0 as we're still in the hunt for our first hit of the game. Santana walks. We will obviously attempt a steal here just to see what we can do, and he's caught stealing. Well, Junior, let's see what you can do. It's a solo home run because of course it is. But hey, we're on the board. First hit of the game. Solo shot for Junior. It's 6-1. The comeback's on. Bichette strikes out. Robles grounds out. Yikes. Cornell leads off the top of the 5th. Diego Liriano is brought on in relief. A flyout for Cornell. Drury grounds out. Davis strikes out. A nice 1-2-3 inning there for Liriano. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Taveras singles. Not going to have him steal. Urena lines out. Thought for sure that was going to be a double play. Moniak strikes out. Miea strikes out. Absolutely brutal. Frazier grounds out. Wade flies out. Torres with a 2-out single. Judge walks. Stanton singles. And the runner's thrown out at home, thankfully. 6-1. Heading to the bottom of the 6th. Matheny pops out. He's now over 3. Santana grounds out. Junior with a 2-out double. Can Bo Bichette do anything to follow it up? No, he cannot. Michael Fulmer is dominating. Sanchez grounds out to begin the top of the 7th. Cornell and Drury, 2-out single. Davis lines out. 7th inning stretch. To the bottom of the 7th we go. And this is, again, the worst case scenario, I'd say. Robles grounds out. Taveras strikes out. Urena walks. We have no choice but to steal and to just go for it. Let's see if he can get it. He does. Moniak grounds out. To the top of the 8th we go. I had some optimism. That balloon is certainly deflated at this point. Frazier flies out. Wade with a 1-out single. Torres with a double, and Wade scores. It's 7-1. Aaron Judge pops out. Stanton singles. 8-1. Sanchez strikes out. Oh my God. Miea strikes out. Matheny, do I have a pinch hitting option for you just for the hell of it? Let's bring in Andreas Arias, because why not? Why not? Let's give Arias the chance. We'll see what he can do. He singles. Beautiful. Hell of a steal threat. Decent amount of speed. We'll go for it. He gets it. Santana. So disappointing. So disappointing in this game. Has drawn the walk. I mean, just what do we even do? Zach Cassidy, come on down. Screw it. What's the worst that happens? We're down 8-1. It's over. Cassidy grounds out. Junior will let bat. He grounds out to end the inning. To the top of the 9th we go. Cornell against Jerome Herman. He grounds out. Drury grounds out. Davis with a 2-out walk. Frazier walks as well. Tyler Wade strikes out. Bottom of the 9th. Down by 7. Fulmer's still in. Will that be the case as Bo Bichette's up? It will not be. David Robertson's brought on. Bichette with a leadoff double. Robles, congratulations. You might actually get to stay. If anyone gets pinch hit for it, it's going to be Mickey Moniak, I'd say. So, Robles, what can you do for us? You can single and drive in a run. Taveras, it's now 8-2 with no outs. There's the fly out. Urena, you're going to take a seat. Why not? You're going to take a seat. Let's bring in Jasrado Chisholm. Give him an opportunity. What's the worst that can happen? What, a double play? Or he can strike out. And Mickey Moniak, we're down to our last out. Let's bring in Dalton Varsho, who we know can play in left. Varsho is hit by the pitch. That brings up Miea. 2 on, 2 outs. Ben Heller's brought on in relief. A single and a runner scores. It's 8-3. Andreas Arias up to bat. 2 outs, 8-3, bottom of the 9th. He singles. Bases loaded for Zach Cassidy. He had a great season. He might not be Martin Santana, but he had a great season. Can he do anything with it? As Chasen Shreve is brought on, Cassidy grounds out, and the New York Yankees win it 8-3. That was the worst case scenario. A disastrous start for Soroka. Perhaps we'll consider it a learning experience. But our playoff hopes and dreams have come to an end. I don't really know what else to say upon that. On one hand, happy we still made the playoffs. We were neck and neck with New York and with Boston all season long. So I'm happy and proud of the team in that way that we haven't taken such a massive step back as the Cubs beat the Twins in the World Series. The Yankees ended up beating Boston in 5, but lost to Minnesota in 6. Like I said, I'm happy in a way that we made it as far as we did, that we did as well as we did. As Devin Travis, the Cubs actually just won back-to-back. Travis was World Series MVP, postseason MVP Kyle Schwarber, and Albert Almora Jr. So there you go. Disappointing, but we did well. Eric Delgado retired. It's the only staff member that we lost. And, of course, we had no players retire with such a young squad. No Hall of Famers in 2022 either. No exclusive negotiations either. So, free agency, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Hitting coach, A.J. Hinch, the -2 to bunting. I am all right with bringing in A.J. Hinch if he is willing to sign. We'll send him nearly a max offer, and we'll see what he thinks about that. For now, though, we can just move forward again. Let's do so. Move forward a couple of days. Hinch, we still have the top offer out to him. No guarantees what other people are trying to hire him for. Let's not stop the simulation. He still hasn't signed, but we should be okay. And there we go. A.J. Hinch is on as our hitting coach for the next 4 years. Like I said, man, disappointing, but we had a good season. We did. And Aaron Judge is going to free agency, by the way, as is Fulmer. That could be big news for us if the Yankees end up taking a step back. Now, the unfortunate thing is our 40-man roster is going to need a little bit of work. There's going to be a lot of aspects of this where we kind of need to work on things a little bit. So let's take a look. Normally, this is the part that I would cut out. But no, anybody who's not like a necessary signing. Like DiMaggio is good for AAA ball. But for the moment, let's just ditch him. Let's clear up this roster a little bit. Ben Mesa as well. He can go. Damian Batts can go. Any players like that, of that caliber, I'm just going to drop. Alex Julio as well for AAA ball. Let's get rid of him. Delabate can stay. Trujillo and McGrath will also be on their way out. Trujillo, we actually... no, that's right. Trujillo, we ended up drafting. So he can stay for the moment. McGrath can go. Is there anybody else? Like Ken Poulsen, can ditch him for now. Might bring him back if he is available, and we need that little bit of depth. Of course, at second base right now. We're looking okay with the 4B potential prospects. At third, Willis Galvis, perfect example of the guy that we can just get rid of. Greenwood as well, he's pretty shit. And Jacob Gonzalez, you're not going to get much better. We'll let go of you as well. At shortstop, as a party, let's get rid of you. Philip Arabu, I think we just drafted. Indeed, we did. Garcia, Chisholm, everybody else there can stay. In left, Mark Ramirez, perfect type of guy to get rid of. Brett Mateo, just those random depth signings to clear out some of these guys. Darryl Bryan, we'll let go of him or not. He's still under contract. Yeah, I guess he does have a multi-year deal. Hurd, you can stay. We're pretty much good there. At center, needless to say, we have plenty of options. Goodrich and Navarro will keep just because they're younger. McKinney, perfect example of someone that we can just ditch, that we signed for a little bit of depth. Quentin Holmes at 23, I'll actually end up keeping him. And Cordova, I believe we just drafted or just recently signed. We're going to get rid of him as well. Decent chance I bring him back. Well, man, as a pinch hitting option. I'm actually going to keep him. That's an example of someone who's worth keeping. I think the big thing here is that extra bit of depth pitching. If there's anybody that we can just clear off of the roster to, get rid of some of this clutter. Monroe, you're 21 and a 62. We'll ditch you. Pretty much anybody below a 70 that's listed here we can look to get rid of. Unless, of course, they have a contract, and I'm not even going to bother buying them out, but we'll clear up some of this clutter for the moment. Castro, I imagine, would still have a contract. Everybody else can stay. Starting pitching-wise, Pardinho is on his way out. Zepeda on his way out. Mike Marion isn't terrible. 23 and a 74, but I am going to release him just because of the crazy amount of starting pitching depth that we have. And again, someone who might end up being brought back. As far as the 40-man goes, though, Hunter Green, James Hu, and Chavez. So let's go ahead and do that. We have plenty of space on the 40-man, too. We shouldn't be at risk of losing anybody. Chavez, Garcia, and Holmes. We will try to handle that, no problem. Chavez, Garcia, and Holmes was a center fielder. Perfect. So that's no longer an issue. Some of these contracts might be, though. Soroka is going to be looking for a big-time deal. I can get him for 2 years at 10.5, though, which is phenomenal. I'll actually try to get a little bit of a discount here. Let's go $19 million for those 2 years. We'll save a little bit of money on him while we can. Bo Bichette also going to be looking for a decent deal. Once this 3-year deal's up, we will probably lose him, but we'll try to go 3 years, and hopefully he signs that. Victor Arano, we'll drop that down to 3 years, and at 2.6, that's actually a pretty damn good deal for us. Let's go 2.5, save a tiny bit. Robles, you disappointed in the playoffs, but I can get you for 4 years at $2 million instead of 5 years at 30. So let's drop that down. Actually, he's pretty much already right to where we want him. We'll go 1.8 over 4 years. And Diego Liriano, we'll go 3 years at... We can actually drop this a little bit. We can drop this significantly. Let's go 4.1. And we'll see if those guys accept those deals. As far as the other contracts, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot to handle. Let's actually go to free agency first. We'll start with catchers. Again, we have Miea. We don't really need any game-changing, big-money options. We already have our guy. So the big thing here will be whether or not there are any prospects. And so far, that appears to not be the case. It's always worth checking. Deep potential there. That's unfortunate. And to be honest, we're going to be getting too low into overalls to really make it worth signing anybody. At first, we have Junior. We don't need Joey Gallo. You could argue, oh, bullshit, bring in Joey Gallo and then move Junior back over to third. I'm not bringing in Joey Gallo for $27 million. I'm not bringing in Josh Bell for $21. Ryan Healy for $11 intrigues me. Some of the minuses that I'm seeing there don't. There are some positives. Coming off of a .218 batting average season, though, I think we're good with who we have. So then the question becomes, are there any prospects? So Medrano, deep potential. Brett Reed, deep potential. Unfortunately, there's nobody there. Not that good so far. Starlin Castro will avoid. We don't need anybody here. DJ LeMahieu, an old face. He's hanging in there at an 83 overall. Not too bad. Happy to see that he hasn't just completely fallen off the cliff in terms of that overall. Nobody available. Occasionally you'll get somebody. Villanueva, 267 will avoid you as well. We pretty much already have too much depth as it is. And unfortunately, there's nobody there either. Iglesias at 33, no thank you. Arcia, under 20 million. That's actually not that bad for Orlando Arcia, but you factor in who we have already. We'd pretty much be committing to moving Bichette probably to second or third. I mean, in fairness, if we were to bring in Iglesias and then just run like Arias and trade away Urena, or not Iglesias, but Arcia, that's not the worst option. 19 million there. Villanueva was looking for 12, but he's also older. I'm not against. You guys know, if you've watched me, if you've watched the series, if you're watching this now, I'm not a big fan of big money options. But if I give you a player option, like if I just lowball the hell out of you, right? If I can get you for 2 years at 16.5 per, with the player option heading into next year, that should go up to 17 per. That I'm willing to do. The same deal that we gave Chris Sale. I'm going to send him that offer. That might be worth it. If he accepts. And then unfortunately, no prospects. Pedro Garcia is not terrible, but yeah, it's not going to happen. In the outfield, Benintendi at 28, 31 million. That is ridiculous. I feel like, again, the $31 million options are way too limiting, and we're already going to have Junior at that. So it's like I could get Benintendi for a season or two, tops, and then have to trade him. Like, we do have the money right now to bring him in, make no mistake. I might try to work out something with Benintendi. Smith, coming off a 281 average season. So again, in left we have Santana, we have Robles, Nobody in right, but that's going to be Ryan Dahl's spot sooner rather than later. Technically, we could use another outfielder. Let me look for prospects first in all three of these spots, but there is a chance that we look to bring somebody in. There's an outside chance of that. It won't be Kiermaier. It won't be Ender Inciarte again, who actually has an offer from the Cubs. Take it. Take that offer and run. Manuel Margot coming off a 281. Actually, how did he do last year? 16. I mean, if we're going to go big for an outfielder, it might as well be Benintendi, right? It might as well be. As ridiculous as that is. Ricky Winston, there we go. Someone who is worth signing. Not the best prospect in the world, but again, someone who's worth signing. Brad Scott as well for a C potential. Loving the haircut, loving the mustache. I mean, really, it's a goatee. And then in right, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge at 30. If we can't beat him, get him to join us, right? Maybe. There's an outside chance. Nobody that's worth signing there. So the big thing, a potential offer to Orlando Arcia, who again is coming off of a pretty damn good season. And could just step in place of who we have already. Ricky Winston and Brad Scott. The big thing is whether or not I'd want to send an offer to Judge or to Benintendi. I think I'd rather probably get Benintendi just for the sake of that extra bit of speed. Obviously the vision, the contact. I mean, he hit 308, capable of 31 home runs, almost a 400 on base. Benintendi might be the guy. Like I said, I'd rather go for Arcia, 5 years younger than Iglesias. If we were to send this offer to Benintendi, and I drop that down to a 2-year deal with a player option, let me double check. Let me double check Junior's contract. 1 year left. I don't know if we can risk it. I don't know if we can risk it. Like, do we just throw our name? You know what? Let's just throw our name in the hat for 1 year because I can afford it. $29.5 million offer for 1 year. And we'll just see if he goes for it. We can afford it, no problem. Just bring in Benintendi for a season. See how it goes, take it from there. I'd say now it more depends on who the hell is available in the bullpen. Just money-wise, what are we looking at? Not to mention all the players that we already have to re-sign. This could go poorly for me suddenly if I don't play this the right way. First and foremost, let me look for prospects here. Nobody. So the top dog, I mean, Herrera's 33, Familia's 33. The best guy here would be Edwin Diaz. And again, if we were to go 1 year, offer you the closer role, that's fine. Kind of shortchange you at $8 million for the season. Pay attention to what we're doing. Jesse Biddle, 136. It's not awful. What do we have right now? We are going to have a spot. Although, German, who, Diaz, if he signs, we're actually not. I'm tempted. We'll pay attention to him. Do we have any other prospects worth signing? The answer is probably no, just because of the way this has gone. There's only been 2 prospects that have been interested in signing, and I think that's going to continue to be the case here. It's looking pretty rough. Jeff Dunlap's a little bit too old. Kobayashi, D potential, not worth it. We're going to need a B potential at this point to make it worth it, and unfortunately we're not going to get that. Starting pitching-wise, Manea at 31, no thank you. Fulmer's there, Jose Barrios is there, Reyes there, Jameson Tyon. There are some high-end starting pitchers available here at this point. And yes, I'm intrigued at possibly making a move. Gratterall, he's 24. I'm still going to send him an offer, though, because he's someone that we could move, potentially. Do we have anybody else? Willie Murillo. Worth signing. He's looking for a bit much, but I'll still look to bring him in. Anybody else? Hightower at 23. We're not going to do that. Sam Carlson, though? We picked up in the Rule 5 last year. We could look to bring him in. just because of the B potential. Do we have anybody else? That Castillo guy's not that good. Blackburn's not that good. Montano, not quite. And Norman's way too low of an overall. So the big thing here, the offers to Benintendi, Arcia, Diaz. Could we pull this off, or will we just send some of the high-end players one-year deals and just hope for the best? Because if you look again in the outfield, we do have Santana. He's a full-time guy, no question, right? No question whatsoever. And I have no idea what the hell that noise is. It's coming from outside, and it's pissing me off. Don't know if you can hear it. It's all well and good. Actually, so we have Santana. We have Robles. We really only have a spot for one. And again, I'd prefer it to be Benintendi. I was tempted to be like Aaron Judge, too. That's not going to happen. Contreras isn't going to happen. So the big thing here would be a starting pitcher. Which, again, with the amount of depth we have, you could argue it's just going to be for the best to try and develop these guys instead of just throwing money Fulmer's way, Reyes' way, Barrios' way, just considering that they're younger. Although Barrios coming off of a 2.96 season, that's not bad. I'm so tempted because at any given time we could just be like, nope, we're going right back into contention. But we do have some starting pitching. You could argue if we make this move, someone like Eflin has to go. We'd have Soroka, Martin, Liriano, Green. We just don't have the space. Alvarez could be traded, though. Alvarez could be. Let me take a look at who we have here, because it might not be the worst idea in the world to throw an offer to some of these guys. So Soroka would stay. Martin, Liriano, Green. Then it comes down to Murillo, Vasquez, Villalobos, all of whom I imagine would be expecting to still play. And of course, we'd want to develop them as well. We'd have to look at trading them. What I'm going to do, though, is throw those cheap one-year offers their way. If they accept, cool. If not, no sweat off my back. Not at all. If we can get one of these guys for dirt cheap for 1 year, not even for the reason of trading them, but just getting them and then going for it, I'm all for it. So we will see. We'll keep an eye on the situation. I mean, number one, like Reyes, there's no way, of course. And Freeland will avoid. So we've sent out quite a few offers. We still have to send out offers to some of our own guys here as well. So let's see what we can do here. I don't know if we'll finish this entire offseason in this episode. We might. Dalton Varsho. Let's go 2-year deal. Everyday player. So Dalton Varsho is going to have to go. He's going to be underpaid and not playing where he wants to play. That's not exactly going to be a good match for us. So we'll pay Jamie Cruz a little bit more. DiMaggio's gone. Mesa's gone. Damian Batts is gone. At first, Julio's gone. Delabate needs a new deal. We'll pay him a little bit more. Kevin McGrath is gone. That's why I release players, so I don't have to worry about this. Let's go 3 years at $880. $900K, I guess, for Andy Wales. Luis Garcia. We'll bump you up in fundage a little bit. Camacho. Pulison's gone. Bromberg. Of course, all the guys we released are on waivers, but they could be brought back if nobody ends up signing them. And Jimmy Benitez. At third, we have Santos. Gonzalez is on waivers. Galvis and Greenwood all on waivers. I'm okay with that. Chisholm. Let's go 2 years at $950. As a party's gone. Alan Ferris, who has just not developed at all. Ramirez and Mateo are gone. Tavares. We're going to go 2 years at 1.1. Cordova, we're going to go 3 years at $560, so he's constantly going to be whining about the money. We'll bump up Uribe. My God, that's speed and stealing. Quentin Holmes, bump up your money. McKinney, actually Holmes. Yeah, I can't change that. McKinney is on waivers. Gonzalez. Who else do we have? Para, bump you up. Ashton, bump you up to 100K. Abreu. We have Goodrich and Navarro. Quite a few center fielders. Ryan Dahl, decent chance you get some playing time, buddy, with that speed and contact. Let's bump him up in money. And Austin Blackburn as well. We'll pay him. As far as closers, James Who, I mean, Yeah, we're going to pay you because you're going to be in the bullpen this year. Snowden, outside chance of it, to be honest. Let's pay him a little bit. And Bennett, I suppose you also have an outside chance of making it. Brett Cortez, let's go 2 years at 600. Alfonso, 2 years at 650. Castro, bump him up a little bit. Lou Hurley, which again is a great name for a reliever. Hernandez, Monroe, a lot of these guys are out on waivers just to have cleared out that space, of course. Let's see, Hunter Green. This is going to be an interesting one where I'm just going to have to pay him a boatload of money because he's going to be pissed about being underpaid. So let's go $750 for him. Yadi Alvarez. Let's go 2 years at $870 to save a lot of money on him. And by the time his contract's up, we're going to look to deal him anyway. Henry Murillo, 2 years at 1.2. Villalobos, good chance of you being in the majors next year. We'll go 400. Vasquez, very good chance of you being there as well. We'll go 5. Pena, who of course was a free agent signing, still pumped about that. We'll go 450. Montanez at a 77. Again, all of these guys have a chance to make it. It's going to be interesting to see how the starting pitching situation really shapes up. Some of these guys are going to have to go. We have too big of a logjam, too much talent, and that problem could be made worse depending on who accepts a contract. I got to be honest, the one guy I regret cutting is Marion, but he's not going to get that much better, I would imagine. Let's see, Hernandez. Zepeda's on waivers, and Pardino's on waivers. So we have sent an offer to everybody. Free agent-wise, we'll see what happens here. This could get crazy. Let's sim a day. We can't afford Benintendi. We can't afford Fulmer, or Barrios, or Reyes, apparently. Wilson Contreras signs with New York, so they'll not be signing Aaron Judge. It's pretty much a guarantee. Sam Carlson now listed in the Rule 5, so he ended up signing. We have space to add him to the 40-man, no problem. Arbitration-wise, we will wait for responses there. And let's see, tender contracts. I actually didn't have anybody decline. So offers, we still have offers out to Arcia, Diaz, Winston, Gratterall, and Murillo. I imagine Diaz will be going to Detroit, and that's fine by me. Maybe Arcia still signs for relatively cheap. And as far as the big moves, we purchased the Carlson contract. Trades, Crockett and Gregorius. What I want are signing. So we did sign Carlson and Scott. The Yankees get Contreras and Chavez to the Cardinals. That's all that's happened so far. Let's sim the next day. Kelvin Herrera to the Nationals. Gary Sanchez to the Rockies. That's good news for us. Gary Sanchez to the Rockies. We're going to have to put Gratterall on the 40-man for now. It's not a problem, just to avoid him going to the Rule 5. Let's take a look here. Other moves. Again, Herrera, Flynn, Sanchez. That's it so far. Next day, we lose as a party. That's fine. Looks like maybe no other major signings. Jesse Biddle ends up going to the Yankees. Alright, it's not the worst case scenario, but it was someone we were looking at potentially. A lot of guys re-signing with where they already were as well. So, not the end of the world. As far as the offers we have out, Judge is probably going to Colorado as well, and Benintendi is definitely going to go to Seattle. Of course, we can't afford that anymore. But Arcia might still happen, and that would give us a step forward in the infield. Diaz has gone to the Tigers, as expected. Josh Bell to the Braves, Diaz to Detroit, Fulmer to Baltimore. So Fulmer stays in the division. 10-year deal for a 40-year or for a 30-year-old. It'll end when he's 40. That's ridiculous. Kiermaier to the Giants. God damn. So he stays in the division, but he's not on New York anymore, which is very good news for us. And I got to be honest, at this point, I think I want to take away the Arcia deal. I mean, he is only 28. It's a tough call. We still have Arano, Robles, and Liriano to deal with, and we still have quite a few guys who have not accepted those early stage contracts. Ender Inciarte to the Brewers, Danny Salazar to Boston, that's not good. Benintendi to Seattle, All right, Arano, Liriano, and a couple of other guys that we're still waiting for. Well, we hear from Arcia. Freeland to Minnesota. Let's take a look. Next day, still nothing. Some of these guys, we only got 5 guys left. 5 holdouts there, and just Arano and Liriano. Let's see. Next day, Barrios to the Cubs. That's as if they needed to get better. Aaron Judge goes to Colorado as well. So Sanchez and Judge, both to the Rockies. Huge offseason for the Rockies. 4 holdouts left, 6 in total, if you factor in Arano and Liriano. Alex Reyes to the Rangers. Let's see, just 4 players left. Next day, Joey Gallo to the Padres. And let's see, Arano, we went 7.4 over 3 years. Let's drop that down to a 3-year deal. So I dropped that down to 7.4, huh? Let's give him what he's looking for at a 7.8. And Liriano, let's go 3 years at 4.9. Just give him the money that he wants. And then Rivas. I mean, we offered you $500K. You were looking for 90. What are you doing, buddy? Let's go 600. And Bromberg, we can bump up to like 180, and we should get both of them. Still nothing from Arcia. 40-man roster must be set. We're fine. Jamison Tyon to the Nationals. Mike Clevenger to the Rockies. What an offseason they are having. And I'm now starting to get a little bit concerned. We have until the 2nd to sign Bromberg, but only a few more days to get Arano and Liriano under contract. Christian Villanueva to the Cubs. Familia to the Cubs. Oh my God, the Cubs and the Rockies are stocking up. Still no answer from those 2. Maxwell to the Cubs. Ridiculous. Where do they have this money? And the good news is, both guys under salary arbitration have signed. We're just waiting to hear back from Bromberg. If he wants to make it difficult, whatever. We still haven't heard from Orlando Arcia. He's clearly holding out for a better offer. Clearly doesn't want to sign that deal, which might be good news for us. Means it might not be the best deal. Manuel Margot to the Diamondbacks. Tim Anderson to the Brewers. Bromberg has signed. The big question now, Orlando Arcia. Will he sign? Blake Snell to the Rockies. How are they affording this? I don't understand it. Will Arcia sign? He will not. He gets a big money offer from the Dodgers. I don't blame him for taking it. Marisnik to the Giants. Overall, I'm okay with that. We didn't end up getting any of the big money options, which I'm fine with. It was worth the shot to try and sign them for relatively cheap. Obviously, if I wanted to sign them, I probably could have with the amount of money we have to throw around. That wasn't the point, though. Of course, we have the talent on roster right now that we can develop, and that continues to pretty much be the point. We can either develop those talents, or if we can get some guys in a half-decent deal, we're going to do that. Jonathan Scope goes back to Baltimore for Zach Britton and Trevor Williams. Trey Mancini to Boston. Musgrove to the Royals. My bad. I was going to say the Orioles. It was the Royals. Will Myers to the Nationals. We're pretty much good with everything else here. Let's go to the Rule 5. I guess we will finish this. Iglesias to the Diamondbacks. And we are already at the Rule 5 draft. We should have some roster spots available too, if need be. We definitely took advantage of the Rule 5 last year. Will we do so this year? That is the question. You have someone like Logan Allen, but that would just cause a further logjam, and there's no way he's going to be on the starting roster. Matt Tabor as well. There's just no way. If it's going to be a starting pitcher, they pretty much have to be a potential, and I doubt we're going to see that. Yeah, it's not going to be a starting pitcher. There's no way. Tyler J., that's not going to happen. Closers, nobody. Nobody there. For catchers, not feeling it. At first, Peter Alonso. That's not going to happen either. At second, Kevin Biggio's there, but no. Third base, nobody there worth taking either. At shortstop, Gabriel Arias would be the one that I'd consider, but we already have just such a log jam at short, so no thanks. In left, nobody. In center, nobody. In right, nobody. All right, so we're going to forego any selection here in the Rule 5 this year. I am content with the team as Henderson Alvarez goes to the Royals. Whether or not I should be content, I'm going to decline that offer, thank you. Whether or not I should be content is another question. We see a lot of teams splashing cash. Like I said, we had the option to do so, but I do feel good about who we have and the thought of continuing to develop certain players. Miguel Gomez, let's just make you an offer. We'll go 3 years at 740. There's no way I don't trade this guy. Pretty sure he was a tack on for a trade previously. Anyway, let's go to spring training, which is where we will end this episode for now. So it starts off with a very disappointing loss in the wild card game. In this offseason, we didn't do much in terms, we didn't really do anything in terms of big name additions. We didn't necessarily have to, though, with how young this team is. We are going to have to sort out certain things. Certain players on the roster might have to go. Someone like Varsho, who's pretty much going to be pissed all season that he's not an everyday player. Pretty sure we're going to trade him. Reed Hernandez will probably end up being our backup, which he's definitely a defensive first catcher, so that's a little bit concerning. There are certain things that we have to sort out with this roster. Signing some free agents to bring in some depth, getting rid of some hangovers that we don't necessarily need. I don't recall taking Miguel Gomez in that draft, but I guess that's where he came from. Could have sworn I forewent that pick. He might stay with how versatile he is. Who knows? Maybe. Probably not, though, when you look at the rest of this roster. So when we begin this next season, we will have everything set up. The roster will be full. There may be some trades made as well, but we will be good to go for our next season at the helm with Toronto. And yeah, case in point here, look at the amount of starting pitching. I hate to say it, someone like Zach Eflin might even be on the way out. We're going to have a lot of moves to make. That said, I'm still very excited for where this team is, even without those major free agent acquisitions. So for now, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Let's hope that next year, old Mike Soroka, if we get into the playoffs, as you continue to make funny faces, let's hope that if Soroka makes it to the playoffs next year, things go a little bit better. For now, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching. You know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. I love your face. And I'll see you next time.